The First Fad. It's the 50s, and marketers are trying their best and spending billions of dollars to work out and manipulate customers, to change the customers' habits and behaviours, to better suit the corporation's needs, rather than be there for the need of the people. My article Consumerism covers that a bit more. But within these times, technology moved along and a distinct marketing advantage came forth: television. Huge resources were put into it, much as they are today. They wanted to use television advertising to get to a much larger audience and therefore number of customers, adults, and potential customers, children. And then something happened in TV that caught a generation's attention and gave them lots of data to work with, apparently, in unravelling how to create marketing situations on demand. Davy Crockett. The TV series happened and became hugely popular, leading to merchandise, leading to big sales for companies. Then just as they stocked up with more goods, it dropped off. This is apparently what led to them investing in fads, what causes them, how to maintain them, and steer them in the direction required. Being able to influence great numbers of people at once through clever and psychological campaigns. As you can imagine, it didn't take long for it to move into other areas, if it wasn't in them already. Military, political, education, medicine, and any industry they wanted to boost and use to infiltrate people's habits and wants. Entertainment was also high on their list, it would seem, with crazes and fads chucked at us left, right and centre thereafter. Television helped all that massively, because while they had already been using the media and propaganda for decades, this gave them a whole new reach, and quicker. Now the internet has increased that capacity to an alarming level, as has been shown by current events. The fact that recently we have been subject to a rather aggressive marketing campaign, whereby they readily admitted they had a whole team studying our behaviour to scare us into compliance, covered in my article Nudge Nudge. They didn't hide it, although didn't admit they had been studying this idea for quite some time. With many of the systems, procedures and protocols ready for this surprise emergency, as well as the coordinated media campaign and government regulations across the board in various countries. Another sign it was not random in any way, to me anyway. And really, as each country has reacted and we have been fed the media stories we are meant to read, things get pushed in a direction they would like, demanding everyone's attention, daily briefings, new rules every day, doom threats constantly, weekly clapping rituals, repeating certain phrases over and over, almost as one would expect when trying to hypnotise people and condition them to a new way of life. They say it only takes 90 days to form a habit, so the length of time imposed for various restrictions and hoo-ha was more than enough, and some people would have been quite overwhelmed and shocked by the unfolding disaster which appeared to be around them, so would have been potentially in a more receptive state to hypnotic and coercive techniques. I wrote a piece about the coercion tactics, the 3 Ds of conversion, under coercion, for a little more on that. But we can see around us now that it is all out in the open, and the book I read to find out about all this motivational industry marketing is called The Hidden Persuaders, written in the 50s when this was unfolding in corporate America. Well, it is no longer hidden, and isn't confined to America. Global corporations under the guise of international organisations have set their sights on a new fad, and we are slowly moving through the phases of their marketing plan to cajole, coerce and convince the masses that it is all for the greater good. Of lining their pockets is the part they don't say. More taxes, more money, more richness, going all the way to the top. Literally starving and choking the people now while they take ever more. It's relentless and will continue to be until someone pulls the plug on the whole devious scheme to ruin people who have now served their original industrious purpose and now appear to be needed for their medical cannon fodder and constant surveillance plans, seemingly using a constant stream of illegal immigrants as either a distraction, a replacement population, a waiting army, just to upset any local and community cohesion that could take place to fight back at the authorities. It's anyone's guess at this stage what their ultimate goal is for this strange situation we find ourselves in. and when it will turn nasty for them. We are encouraged to spend time trying to imagine how bad it is going to get for us with all the disaster films they have made. Prep for Disaster or Clever Programming covered that a bit, so you don't need to even use your imagination. But more time needs to be spent on where it does go wrong for them, because things will change afterwards. They will have to. The old times and ways really are going to have to be left behind, but that doesn't mean you have to follow the sterile, monitored path they have waiting and are trying to steer everyone towards, making it seem as though that is the only way, because it's what they have worked so very hard for and it's what they seem to want. But because everyone didn't just hand themselves over to their vision at the start of the pandemic, they now have to do it through crazy politicians stumbling over targets of net zero and a very driven marketing campaign of protesters/actors and well-placed and timed events, steering and shaping society and opinions as they want them, introducing music, drugs, lifestyles, motivations, dreams, products, ideas, and all sorts of things they wanted you to be aware of, thinking and doing. Don't ever think they haven't thought about anything that is a public release item, whether it be a media piece or releasing biological agents on the unsuspecting public, like they also did in the 50s and 60s. They will have given it an awful lot of thought.